Hey, everybody, welcome to today's episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. Chantal McDougall, who is authentically who she is, calls herself the Fairy Godmother of Storytelling. Listen in as we talk about a different approach to marketing and how showing up authentically helps you lead your lit up life. Enjoy. Welcome to Lead Your Life, the podcast for people who are seeking harmony in business and in life. My name is Debbie Heiser, and I'm an inner mastery and business mindset coach and the chief igniter here at the Lit Up Life. I feel an urgency to help people let go of past messaging so that they can make a lot of money doing what they love without sacrificing what they value most. Welcome. We're glad you're here.
Straight from the corners of my mind.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lead Your Life with Debbie Heiser. My name is Debbie Heiser. I help entrepreneurs make a lot of money doing what they love to do without sacrificing what's important to them. And today, I know I say I'm excited every time I have a guest, but I'm really excited to have Chantal on. And I'm going to tell a little story about this because Chantal McDougall and I met through a networking group that we're both in, an international networking group called Fem City, which is awesome. Go check it out. It's a great group, and I can't wait to get more plugged in again. And she and I met through there. And it's really funny because when I first met her, I think we had a little coffee date and we chatted a little bit. And as you can see on the screen, if you're watching on video, she calls herself the fairy godmother of storytelling. And she came out and she kind of had this like magic wand. And I was like, what is she doing? Right? Like, yeah, there it is. And like, oh my gosh, like, is she nuts or is she brilliant? Right? Like, I was waffling back and forth between this thought process. And as I've watched Chantel, like just embrace who she is. And that, Chantel, is like one of the biggest reasons I wanted to have you on the show is because you are showing up authentically as who you are. And to me, to lead a lit up life, we have to get rid of the mask. We have to show up as who we are. And the world is an abundant universe, and people will come to us based on that vibration. So, as you all know, that's my gist of it. I'm going to have Chantel introduce herself and tell you a little bit more about what this means about the fairy godmother of storytelling. So take it away, Chantel.
Well, I so appreciate that, Debbie. Thank you so much. And I will just add on to that story. I remember the first time you told me that, like when you said you're like the either nuts or brilliant. It's funny because I could see my growth because I was like, I was so okay if she would have thought I was nuts because I'm so happy with how I am and proud of myself. And it's
Yeah.
not going to be for everyone. But that's the thing. At one point, I was shrinking and trying to fit into boxes that were not meant for me to fit in. And I was like
Yeah.
contorting my body to try to be comfortable for other people. And then I was like, I'm done with this cage. I'm ready to set myself free. And I have done that. And now I own who I am. I embrace my title as the fairy godmother of storytelling. I wear many hats and I turn that hat into a crown. And I'm really proud of that. So I partner with women who have ADHD to really own who they are. The quirks, the sparkles, the parts that they were told don't belong in business or adulthood, and
Yeah.
those are often what become your magical and magnetic differentiators when it
Yeah.
comes to business. And even we'll talk a little bit about this too, but AI as well. Like when you
Yeah.
want to cut through the AI noise, like what really sets you apart is like really owning who you are, because that's something a robot cannot replicate, especially when you're on camera. And when you own who you are, you start to attract more opportunities. You create them because you have the confidence to go out there and not wait for it, but like you have that conviction. You're like, I'm going to create it or I'm going to make it happen. And that's what happened to me. And I'm really proud because Debbie saw my evolution. How I don't know if you were there in the call, but I remember sharing in Fem City. I was like, you know what? I feel like I can't fully be me. Like I'm quirky, I'm silly. I have like so much humor, but I was like taught in business that's not professional. But
Yeah.
ever since I've rewritten that script for myself, business has been so much more fun and honestly financially wow, like
Yeah.
really
Well, you
I'm
know
gonna
why,
say
right?
yeah. And even the last month, I'm not even month, I'm gonna say the last 3 weeks have been like a catalyst for me because I've really leaned into I'm tired of saying like just I help with storytelling. I help with so many areas and I'm a catalyst, like a catapult. And I help women really, like you said, embrace who they are, take up
Yeah.
the space that they are meant to fill and like overflow, like be exactly who they are and even go to new like further and higher heights that are thrilling.
Yeah.
But I remember for myself, I thought, you know what? I can't show my quirks in business, but ever since I've been leaning into, and I'll say in the last 3 weeks, especially in my discovery sessions that
Yeah.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm, I've been crying on calls with people. I've been laughing and I've been converting like never before. I'm like, everything I've
Yeah.
been taught is not what works for me. Like I am not
Absolutely.
like that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And now I teach women to do that, but it's healing. It is so
Yeah.
healing. And I love Debbie said something that was, sorry, I'm going off. Like I'm in my element here,
No,
but
you're
Debbie,
good.
you said something in your, what was it? It was the summit we were in together. You said you're not someone that will ever say like you need fixing.
Yeah.
And I love that because I've met a lot of healers that tried to make me feel this is like the toxicity piece. Healers
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
so important, but they made me feel like something was wrong with me and that I need them to fix it. And when you said that at the summit, I've been believing it, but I've been missing just a little piece. And hearing you say it was like that piece for me to be like, I am my own healer. And I think
Good.
that helped
Yeah.
me also lean into like, I'm quirky, I'm silly, I have wounds, I'm healing them, I'm human. I talk about my challenges and my
Well, you're
past
vulnerable.
experience.
You're real.
I'm being real and
Yeah.
vulnerable.
And
Appreciate
Chantel, one
you.
of the things that I love about this, right, is
Yeah.
that when you said everything I've been taught doesn't work for me, honestly, right now, it doesn't work for most people. Because right now, I don't know about you, but I'm finding that everybody listening to, you're probably in this as well, in the mode that people are tired of the BS, right? They want people that are real. They want people that are authentic, people they can have a relationship with, not people that come off, and I know I come off as successful. I am successful because I have my own definition of success, right?
Yeah.
And but like that come off as perfect. That's not relevant. It's
Hmm.
not relatable. And so part of what I love about you is this fact that you do show the emotion, you show the passion, you show because you're helping people create their story. And we had someone else on about marketing as well and storytelling, and
Yeah.
she has just a slightly different approach, right? And so both approaches are good. It
Oh
just
yeah.
depends on how you want to do it. And so
Yeah.
I love too, this is the first time I've heard you say this, that your niche is around ADHD women, right? Like people that, because it is real. And more and more I'm finding the pattern of entrepreneurship tends to go down that path, right? Like I call it the squirrel syndrome. I can't do the whatever it is on here, the chat and stuff because I get too squirreled, right? When I
Yeah.
teach Gonzaga, I'm kind of like, you can type all you want to in that thing, but I'm not going to pay attention to it very
Yeah,
often,
yeah,
right? So,
seriously.
but what I want to go back and I want to ask you,
Yeah.
like, do you remember a moment when you realized that you had masks on and that you decided to take it off?
Yeah. Oh my God, great question. Oh my gosh. For sure. Hmm.
Or and it might have been a series of moments, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I definitely know when I think, hmm. My brain's going, but this is it. This is like part of what owning. I have ADHD. I can finally own it. And I can say my brain went 10 different directions. And I'm like, which one? But like that's part of, I think that's part of what I'm going to answer because I think a big passion for me working with women with ADHD is for me, I really struggled with my ADHD. And honestly, I felt a lot of shame for it because we're taught ADHD. Oh, someone with ADHD, they're not going to start the task or finish it. They're lazy. They're this and that. But I've been able to see how magical it is to have ADHD, how I've been able to turn like forgetfulness into peace because sometimes I'm so upset about something and then I forget about it not too long after and I'm like, you know what? I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Works to your advantage too.
right. But in work mode, when I'm in my work mode, it doesn't really happen as much because I'm hyper focused, right? I'm hyper focused. I feel really good. And like part of I think masking, I used to hid that part of the ADHD because like I wouldn't even talk about it.
Yeah.
I hid it. And it's funny because you don't hear many people have shame. When you say, a lot of people say I have ADHD, but when you really talk about what having ADHD is and how hard it is to do, the most simple task and
Yeah.
owning it, that I think is where I've been starting to unmask because I will share certain I need to have something that's
Mm,
like comfortable, and when
yeah.
I'm overstimulated and I step away, when I feel it in my body now. I'm like, okay, this is too much, or a certain personality type. I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, that took a lot of me. I need to like be in comfort after like a cozy sweater. And I own that now and I share it with my husband and my friends. I'm like, I'm overstimulated. Before I would just take it, take it, take it. And then
Yeah.
I would be burnt, burnt, burnt. And then I'd wonder what is wrong with me. But now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm not accommodating my brain. I am expecting myself to be like others. And I'm also expecting others to be like me.
Ah,
So
that's so true.
right. So
Yeah.
that has been a big part of my healing is like really trying to see like people for how they are, and they are great in, their own way, and they won't always see and understand me. And I'm becoming more and more at peace with it. Like I'm
Yeah.
finally okay not being for everyone fully, but not being understood by all. Again, totally good. But there are some people in my personal life that I'm on the journey. I'm so close to like really feeling like they don't understand me. I'm good. And it's family stuff, right? So, like,
Yeah.
family, you
Yeah.
want them
Yeah.
to understand, but it doesn't take away their love for me. And I'm realizing that now. Just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they don't get me to this level does not mean they don't love me. It's just they have their own limits, just like I have my limits, and we can accommodate and meet each other halfway while still like being myself. I'm not gonna shrink myself, but it's like I know that they won't have the same responses that my other ADHD, like I call them neurosparkly, like my
I
neurosparkly
love that.
folks have.
I love that.
So,
Well, Chantel, we're going to take a quick break. And then
for
when
sure.
we come back, I want to chat about how you help people, right? As this fairy godmother of storytelling, how do you help? And particularly because your niche is working with ADHD or neurodivergent folks, and how you help them brand and come up with a story that talks about what they do. So, folks, we'll be right back. I want to give a quick shout out to my favorite online community for women entrepreneurs. It's called Build Her. If you've craved a space to connect with other women who truly get the journey, this is your space. We go live monthly for in-depth training on all things business, and it's where you'll get the latest news from the lit up life first. Plus a chance to swap stories, tips, and triumphs with an amazing community of women. It's welcoming, it's fun, and it's where we cheer each other on through every up and down of entrepreneurship. Join us and let's build each other up. Check it out at thelituplife.com/buildher. Okay, we are back. And so, Chantel, thank you for sharing your story and kind of how you got to where you are today. And hats off to you because it takes courage to show up in that vulnerability and who you authentically really are. And kind of with that, I see you as almost like a permission giver of courage or something like that, right? Because being the fairy godmother of storytelling, I want you to kind of really help the audience
Yeah.
understand, how do you show up in service, right? The niche is with ADHD women. So how
Mhm.
do you help them? And what do you actually like? What's the action that takes place for you?
Yeah. That's a great question. I'm gonna base it off a recent call I had today, actually, that really highlights what you said because I was in a discovery call with someone who's signing up with me. She like loved my magnetic energy and saw I can help her. But what was really interesting is she came to me with like a visibility block.
Hmm.
Okay. And I'll explain to you with the storytelling and all. Because she was telling me how she has a visibility block and group coaching is what she sees doing because one-on-one with ADHD, it's too hard. It's too difficult. But the more I was talking about it, she was realizing, and I was telling her, is it that for ADHD women, it's hard to have one-on-one clients, or is that what you are telling yourself? Like that's
Oh,
the
yeah, the
story playing,
message.
right? And then the more she was talking, she was like, oh, like, yeah, that's interesting. I'm like, yeah, because you've worked in this industry, you've had these testimonials. Yeah, it's not the same industry, but look at your testimonials. They speak for themselves. And she was like, oh my God. So that story was playing into her visibility block. So together we're melting that block, the visibility block. So starting with like the inner critic,
Yep.
transforming those stories into ones that are no longer outdated. So the storytelling for me, I'm learning where it sets my soul on fire is really helping women. And now I'm learning ADHD, neurodivergent, entrepreneurs, creatives, women, a lot of coaches, and some realtors too, to really rewrite those stories. Because when you rewrite those and you step into like who the heck you are and own it, the stories you tell are bigger, bolder, more magnetic, everything. And you really step and own like who you are, but you also give permission to others to do the same. So
Yeah,
for
Chantal, I
her,
love that you said that because that's what I do, right? Is
yeah,
help to
yeah,
unwind that brain science and that subconscious messaging that we get because it's attached to our identity.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
And so it's sometimes it becomes a little bit more complex because we're trying to unravel it from the identity that we have of ourselves. So, yeah. So keep going. So you
Right. I
help them
appreciate
kind of
that.
with those blocks.
So that was the block. And then just like a quick other one, really quick. Another one of my recent clients, I'm helping her build confidence and conviction with discovery calls. So when she's on the discovery call, she can plant the seed of working with her. And I played the part of the client. And in the
Yeah.
end, when she did it, I was like, you know what? You were like, I was able to like feel heard. You were wonderful, but I didn't believe you could help me. So I help her position herself like in the discovery call, like this is what you can say to make me feel like you're the person that can help me while being ethical. So again, the stories, it's like part of like the storytelling she's telling herself to not sound, icky, salesy, etc. But it's like to serve. So embodying that. But then the stories outwards, it's like helping to find like those gems, seeing like the transformation that led you, the catalyst to where you are now, being able to, my gosh, the storytelling, I could have an episode alone on that, but it's really helping women to find who have been shrinking to finally spread their wings to fly and to soar while
Yeah.
owning who the heck they are and even rediscovering the parts that they've forgotten about themselves. So I say like your ruby slippers, the ones who guide you home, like I help you activate awaken and activate those shoes so it guides you home to you while also like you're soaring like Alphaba from Wicked.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And so, Chantal, when you think about so the storytelling,
Yeah.
if I'm someone like, tell me who you work with, right? Like, I mean, I know the ADHD neurodivergent woman, but are you helping them get more business? Are you helping them
Oh
maybe
yeah, yeah,
in some
yeah. Okay.
cases be a speaker so they're telling their story? I know you're also the storytelling has a duality meaning, right? Because you're
Yeah,
helping them unlock the stories or the messages that they have in their subconscious.
100%.
But tell us a little bit about like who is the person that you're working with and
Yeah, for
what do you
sure.
help them do?
So I help often coaches, creatives, and actually a really fun one now is realtors. And I'll talk about realtors because I help the realtors um, highlight the human and the heart and the humor behind the hustle. So
Yeah.
it's really telling stories that speak. Again, I go back to the here, like the stories here, because I used to do the other way. I thought it started with the audience. But when you start with the audience, you often neglect yourself because you're so focused on other people and wanting to serve them, you don't even realize, like, is this who I even want to work with? When you start with yourself, that's the compass. So for me, I help to find like I've been called like a word wizard to craft stories that really get people curious and leaning in and wanting to learn more about your services, like in an elevator pitch. On YouTube as well, like I've started my own YouTube channel, but really telling stories that um, highlight your personality, expertise, and position you powerfully. So, planting the seed about your services, having powerful call to actions, like in your videos, let's say, but also speaking as well, like owning the stage, taking that mic, like you just being exactly who you are. So, I find most people start they come to me often when they don't know what to say, like in their pitch, they find their pitch doesn't speak to them anymore, like elevator pitch. But yeah, I've been helping like when I go back to the realtors, tell stories that bring the homes to life. So I bring the
Yeah.
personality like out of the home. And with entrepreneurs that are not realtors, I help them find the parts of them that maybe are quirky or silly, but bring them into their business and come up with a story that ties it into their services so they can really
Perfect.
own it, but also highlight their expertise. So it's not just about like giving, it's releasing, like I said,
Yeah.
self-expression, like to release, but also to receive.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. So
Yeah.
how did you get into this work?
Oh man. This is where I always start. I was the little 6, 7, 8 year old on the play structures, helping the younger ones. Like I've been a natural, just my mom, my mom said I was like a mini mom, which is
That's
really
cute.
cute to look
Yeah.
back. I'm like, yeah, I just had always like a heart to want to help people
Nurture. Yeah.
and nurture and to care. And I've really healed that people pleasing part of it because let's be real. When we're young like that and we're always looking out for others, there's other things going on. And I had to grow up really fast when I was young. I had grew up with a really sick parent, a lot of mental health things going on in the family, a lot of things like that. And it brought me closer to wanting to understand like the human mind.
Yeah.
So I studied psychology and I graduated with honors. I'm actually bilingual. Like j'ai étudié en
Oh,
français, so like I studied in French. So I am fully bilingual. I studied psychology, but before that, it's funny, but I was a swimming instructor and I was really passionate seeing the look on someone's face when they realized they could accomplish something they didn't think they could in the
yeah.
water. I was 16 and I was like, I'm going to find a way to make this out of aquatics. I don't know what it'll be, but one day.
Yeah.
And then I worked actually in the government. And then I realized, wow, I love to network. But I'm going to go back a bit. I was terrified. I had a big visibility block too. I really did. I was terrified of being on camera. I just want people who are watching. I
Yeah.
wasn't always like this. I want to be like, let's like humanize me for a second. I haven't always been like embracing this. I used to hide. I was shy. I was very insecure. I was a big people pleaser, recovering perfectionist. I own it. I'm like happy with where I'm at, but through my healing, through I became my own coach actually, then I realized I had the ability to go up to anybody. I could go up to like the queen tomorrow, let's say, or like I didn't, not the queen, sorry, the like, well, whatever. Anyone. I just anyone. I see people as people.
Yeah.
And I was able to
It's a gift.
realize that, yeah, that gift when I was young. And I'm like, wait a minute. That's interesting. So when I did networking with women business networking events, I realized how many incredibly talented women and entrepreneurs there are that are so great one on one. But when it comes to like right before telling me what they do, I'm like, what do you do? And like, you are doubting yourself. I don't know how I could believe in you to help me. But then
Right.
I'm like, oh my God, there's a need here. Like, they are so amazing at what they do. I saw their testimonials, I saw their website, I see what they do, but they're not owning it. They don't believe in who they are. Like, they don't believe in what they can bring. And I'm like,
That's
here
the
I
biggest
come.
piece that I see is the whole belief,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I'll tell clients a lot, like I wish you could see yourself through my eyes and borrow the belief I have in you, right? To go forward.
Yeah,
So,
right.
and that makes a big
That's
difference.
really beautiful. I love that. I love like holding the mirror up for them. And for me, one thing that's funny in my client work, my clients love because I am so raw and vulnerable. Like I
Yeah.
say, raw, what is it? Raw, real, like radiant, relatable. That's what I say. I
Yeah.
try to just lead with that. My clients actually love to hear when I kind of slip in like what I've struggled with before. And I'm like, why do my clients love like that I struggle? And I'm like, wait a minute, because you rarely see people owning it. It's like we
Yeah.
hide it, but that is what connects us. When you
Yeah.
share your struggles, and for me, what I saw as the most courageous act is being able to admit your struggles and your expertise.
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I'm like, I talk about my own perfectionism. Yeah, I help heal it, but I am human. It comes in, but I know how to redirect it to be like,
Yeah.
I'm
You
still
have
going to take
tools to,
action.
yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm really enjoying
Well,
being on here.
yeah, well, I'm so glad to have you. And unfortunately, it's so funny how this goes so quickly, but I want to, as kind of a wrap up to this, I want to ask you three kind of final questions. One
Sure.
is, if someone wanted to find out more about you, what you do, how you help people, where would you send them? And this will be in the show notes too.
Yeah, so I'm currently, honestly, I'm in a place where, like we talked about, embracing who I am, embodying. I'm in a place of expansion. My website is currently evolving, but if they're curious, they can go on my website,
Yeah.
scroll at the bottom. I have a cute little box that you can send your wish and say that you listen to this podcast, and I'll give you X something special. Like a bonus, or we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't
something.
even
Yeah.
know right now, but send something. I will send some fairy dust your way. Say that you are listening to Debbie's podcast, and I have a YouTube channel that you can have a glimpse of me sharing my journey, really embracing. I call it "I'm in my
Yeah.
defying gravity era," which is a sneak peek to a question you're gonna ask.
Yeah.
Um, and I would say Instagram as well. It's not the place that I'm like there as actively, but I
Yeah.
do answer my messages. So yeah, send me a
Yeah, and
wish.
so going out to the website would probably be the best bet because then you can probably tie into those other areas from that website, and that will be in the show notes. So make sure to check that out. And then I always end the podcast with two questions. If we were to go out to a streaming platform, and I have to share with the group that when I prepped Chantal today, I'm showing my age because I'm like, yeah, I used to ask you what was on your Walkman. She's like, what's a Walkman?
Yeah.
So I need to switch that up. But if we were to go out to a streaming platform and pull up your most played song, your favorite song, what would it be?
Definitely
Fine Gravity? Yeah.
defying gravity. Yeah, I got this candle at Home Sensor Winners, and I'm like, this is giving defying gravity, but like,
Yeah.
because I've been like, I feel like I'm alpha at heart, values authenticity, but aesthetic, I'm Glinda, and I'm owning that. I'm like, definitely. And if you haven't seen Wicked, please go and check it out. If you like musicals and authenticity, you'll love it. I
Most definitely, because the second half's coming out here in a month or so.
know, I'm so
Yeah,
excited. I might dress
I
up.
know. I know. That'll be fun. Okay, so then the last question I have for you is, share with the audience a book that's been impactful to you or that you're currently reading that you can share. I always like to share additional resources that people can go pick up and learn more from.
Yeah, you know what? I
What?
think it was actually, you know, the books that you're supposed to read in high school, like in an
Yeah.
English class? I read all of mine. I am proud to say that because some of my friends
Yeah.
read the cliff notes. But one of them in particular was The Five People You Meet in Heaven.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'm not religious, I'm not. But what I love is I do believe in like you meet people from all walks of life and they have a lesson to teach you. And like every single person in your life serves like a meaning or a purpose. And I'm not saying that that's necessarily you need that person in your life or keep them in it. Absolutely not. Sometimes the lesson is to let go and to release and to detach and to be like, I choose myself. But for me, being a 17-year-old, reading that book, going through a lot of traumatic things that were going on at home, I was like, wow, every single person I meet can teach me a lesson, whether
Wow.
it's about myself or life. And I think that was a sign, like a clue as to my passion for personal development right there. So I think that's part of why I
Awesome.
gravitated to it.
Yeah, that's a great book. I think it's Mitch Albom or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a great book.
How about you?
Chantal, thank you so much for being here. And for those of you listening, definitely go out and check out her website, check out what she does, because there is not anyone in this world that's more authentic in what I see than Chantal in what she
Oh my
does
God.
and how she shows up. And honestly, Chantal, keep doing it because it gives us all permission to show up that way. So
I'm like literally Wow, I'm taking that in. Like, I feel like I'm absorbing that. So much of the time we go to the next thing, but I am taking that in. I'm gonna re-listen to this podcast. I'm like, damn. But what is your favorite book? I'd love to hear, and I'm sure your
Oh,
audience too. And this,
wow. I've
yeah,
never had anybody come back and ask me that. I do
yeah.
so much reading that this year I made a pact to myself to read more fiction because it's the only thing that involves both sides of your brain at the same time. But I would have to say one that has been really impactful to me is What Happened to You. And it's by, I forget the gentleman's name. He's a renowned child psychologist and Oprah Winfrey. It's about this whole idea that we don't need to be fixed, but we've all had things that have happened to us that create the
Mm.
reactions or the actions that we have to certain things. So I think every parent, every teacher, every person that deals with people should read that book because it's just so insightful to how the brain works and how, like, if you think about it, smells bring back memories, right?
Yeah,
Smells also
yeah,
bring back memories you don't want to remember, which
yeah,
create behavior issues in kids or, certain things. So
yeah.
that one was really impactful. I have way too many books to list them all off, but that's
No,
one.
I love that. And it actually aligns with what we talked about when I said like something that you said and what you said. I think the next day I saw a quote and it was something about like your wounds are like a cornucopia. And I was
Yeah,
like,
that's so
what
true.
the heck? So all of those things that they're taught, like you have a hole inside of you, is actually where the magic flows through. Are you kidding me? I really, really believe like we have the power in our hands to like heal us. And of course, I have a therapist. I have no shame in that. Like therapy, I have a
Yeah,
coach. Like it's important to have that, but we also have the power in our hands to heal ourselves. And you can't let someone else tell you that you need them like to hire you to get the solution, the hidden secret, because that is feeding into like that fear that you're not enough. And
absolutely.
that's not, I just love that
Absolutely.
you said that. Thank you.
And thank you for asking because I'm going to share two more with my listeners. I think I need to do
Yeah.
a podcast on great books. One is I like to listen to some books. I do like to listen to that book that I just talked about because I like to hear Oprah Winfrey's voice. The other one
Mhm.
I love to listen to, and I've listened to it twice on road trips, is Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, I
It's
didn't even know he was an
fantastic.
author. Didn't even know he
Yep,
was an
it's
author.
fantastic. And then the other one is the Book of Joy by His Holiness the Dalai Lama and oh, who's the oh, it's downloading now. So, oh, sorry. Now it's coming on. I got to get this. The Dalai Lama and Desmond Tutu.
Yeah, I love that. And for
Yeah.
me, it's funny when you ask me what book like to say, I'm happy like I picked one because often and people say, what books, what podcasts are you reading? Like, how are you so? And I'm like, honestly, like I'm like following this book. Like
Yeah.
literally I'm writing my own story. I'm writing the book. And like when you
Yeah,
tap
that's so
into that,
awesome.
it's really powerful too. So I appreciate that. And I'm a
Yeah.
natural includer even back when I was like I said like 8 or 7 and I it's interesting that you said no one's asked you and I'm like, "Debbie, come on, join
Yeah.
us.
Oh, I'm
Like I
here.
want to
Yeah.
hear."
Thank you. And you just gave me an idea for another podcast. So listen in, folks. I'll have a
Amazing.
podcast soon about like great resources. So Chantel, thank you so much for being here. Folks, that's a wrap on this week's, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. That's a wrap for this conversation. I'm so glad you've joined us. Remember to subscribe to the podcast so you can catch all of our future episodes and visit us at thelituplife.com for details on how you can become part of the Lit Up Life community. A quick shout out to my friend Jackie Wilson and her friends, the creators of our amazing theme music. Thanks so much for allowing us to share this perfect song with our listeners. Looking forward to having you listen in to our next episode.